Welcome to Arena X. Today, we re-diving into the story of an aircraft that single-handedly changed the course of the air war in the Pacific, the Grumman F6F Hellcat. This wasn't just another fighter. It was the ultimate answer to Japan's legendary Mitsubishi A6M0. The story begins in the dark days, after Pearl Harbor, in 1941. The U.S. Navy was in a tough spot. The Japanese Zero was a master of the skies, outmaneuvering and outranging many American fighters. While the Grumman F4F Wildcat was holding the line with sheer grit, it was clear that a new, more powerful aircraft was desperately needed. The Navy needed a plane that was faster, tougher, and could hit harder. Enter Grumman, a company already famous for building aircraft that were as tough as tanks. Their mission was simple, but incredibly challenging. Create a fighter that could defeat the Zero without sacrificing the pilot's safety. This philosophy, the pilot must come home, became the soul of the Hellcat's design. A pivotal moment came in June 1942, when an almost perfectly preserved Zero crash-landed in the Aleutian Islands. This was a goldmine of intelligence. American engineers took the captured plane apart and discovered its secrets. The Zero was incredibly agile, but it had critical weaknesses. Its structure was fragile. It lacked any significant armor plating for the pilot, and its fuel tanks were unprotected, ready to explode if hit. Armed with this knowledge, Grumman refined the Hellcat's design to exploit these very vulnerabilities. The F6F wasn't designed to outturn the Zero, it was designed to overpower it. When the Hellcat entered service in 1943, it arrived just as the United States was shifting from defense to offense across the Pacific. From its very first combat missions, the Hellcat proved its superiority. It was significantly faster than the Zero, especially in a dive, allowing pilots to dictate the terms of the fight. It was armed with 6 powerful 50-caliber Browning M2 machine guns that could shred the lightly built Japanese planes. But its greatest advantage was its incredible toughness. The Hellcat was built like a flying fortress. It had an armored cockpit, a bulletproof windscreen, and self-sealing fuel tanks. Pilots quickly learned that their Hellcats could absorb an astonishing amount of damage and still bring them safely back to their aircraft carrier. This survivability gave American pilots immense confidence, allowing them to fly more aggressively. The Hellcat quickly became the primary fighter for both the U.S. Navy and the Marine Corps, establishing total air dominance wherever it flew. Its impact was most famously demonstrated during the Battle of the Philippine Sea in 1944. This massive air battle became known as the Great Marianas Turkey Shoot because American Hellcat pilots downed hundreds of Japanese aircraft with very few losses of their own. The Hellcat was also decisive in the brutal campaigns for Iwo Jima and Okinawa, protecting the U.S. fleet from kamikaze attacks and supporting ground troops. By the end of the war, the statistics were staggering. Hellcat pilots were credited with over 5,200 enemy aircraft destroyed, achieving an incredible kill-to-loss ratio of approximately 19-1. This makes the F6F Hellcat the most successful naval fighter in history. So, what made this aircraft so special? Let's look at its physical and technical characteristics. The Hellcat was a big, muscular aircraft. It had a length of about 10.2 meters and a wingspan of over 13 meters. Its low, straight wings provided excellent stability, making it a steady gun platform. Its wide, robust landing gear was perfect for the violent, unforgiving landings on an aircraft carrier deck. The raised cockpit also gave the pilot excellent visibility, which was crucial in a chaotic dogfight. At the heart of the Hellcat was its engine, the Pratt & Whitney R2800 Double Wasp. This massive 18-cylinder radial engine produced over 2,000 horsepower, making it one of the most powerful and reliable engines of the war. It propelled the Hellcat to a top speed of over 601 kilometers per hour and allowed it to climb to an impressive service ceiling of over 11,000 meters. Its armament was devastating. Those 6 50-caliber machine guns provided a massive volume of fire. But the Hellcat was versatile. It could also carry bombs and high-velocity aircraft rockets, or HVARs, turning it into a highly effective fighter bomber capable of attacking ground targets and enemy ships. Let's do a direct comparison with its main rival, the Mitsubishi Zero. In terms of speed, the Hellcat was superior. In durability, the Hellcat was vastly superior. Its armament was heavier, and while the Zero was more maneuverable in a tight turn, the Hellcat's superior survival features were a game-changer. American pilots were trained to use tactics like the boom and zoom, using their speed and altitude advantage to make diving attacks and then climb away safely, avoiding a turning fight where the Zero excelled. The Hellcat didn't need to dance with the Zero, it just needed to land a solid punch and survive the counterattack. The legacy of the F6F Hellcat is immense. It wasn't just a successful fighter, it was the key that unlocked American air supremacy in the Pacific. It stands as a powerful symbol of American industrial might and engineering ingenuity during World War II. The Hellcat proved that a well-protected, powerful, and reliable aircraft, flown by well-trained pilots, could overcome a more agile but fragile opponent. It didn't just defeat the Zero, it effectively dismantled Japan's air power and changed the very nature of naval warfare. The Grumman F6F Hellcat is, without a doubt, one of the greatest warplanes ever built. Thanks for joining us on Arena X. If you enjoyed this deep dive into aviation history, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more. See you next time.